5 years ago, all I needed to be a front-end developer is building UI interfaces. You knew HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and maybe React, and boom, you are a front-end developer. But if you've been in interviews lately, you've probably noticed that's not enough anymore. Today, companies don't just ask if you can build a navbar or a landing page. They want to know if you understand the ecosystem. By the ecosystem, I mean cookies, sessions, caching, authentication flows, and testing, some other stuff like personalization and even API consumption. Because front-end is not just about making screens look good anymore. It's about building real products, fast, secure, and scalable. Now, don't get me wrong, design and UI building is still the core of front-end, but what we do as front-end developers has evolved, and building UIs has gotten way more easy with modern libraries. Now, we used to rely on Bootstrap to handle our layouts and components. Then we had libraries like Material UI and Art Design that gives pre-built components. For Tailwind experts, they have Tailwind CSS components. You can just Google some out and boom, you are set building. But recently, Shadcn has completely changed the game. If you haven't heard of Shadcn, let me break it down for you. It's not just another component library. It's a collection of copy and paste components built with Radix UI and Tailwind CSS. Here's what makes it breathtaking. Instead of installing a massive library that you are stuck with, Shadcn gives you actual source code. You copy the components you need, paste them into your project, and they are yours to customize. You are not fighting against some library CSS. You own the code. The components are built with accessibility in mind. They are fully customizable with Tailwind CSS, and they work seamlessly with TypeScript. But here's the thing, even with Shadcn making UI development easier than ever, that beautiful interface means nothing if you cannot build a product behind it. And that's where most front-end developers fall short in interviews today. So if you are serious about leveling up as a front-end developer in 2025, here are the areas I'd say you must start looking at. First, authentication and security. That means cookies, sessions, JWTs, and who else. It's not just about login forms. And when I mean authentication, I don't mean just login forms. I mean understanding how to keep the app secure. You need to understand how authentication flows work, how to store tokens safely, and how to handle user sessions. Second, performance and caching. Learn how to make apps faster with techniques like client-side caching, revalidation in next.js, or using tools like React Query or SWHow. Users expect apps to load instantly, and you need to know how to deliver that. State management beyond React hooks. I know many developers are more familiar with React hooks, but when it comes to state management beyond React hook, they fall short. Now, think Redux toolkit for complex apps, or even understand the difference between server state and client state. You need to know when you need to use states versus when you need to reach for a global state solution. The fourth on my list here is APIs and integration. There is no front-end developer without knowing how to consume APIs. One of the commonly used ones are REST API and GraphQL. And learning one of them is a must. I advise you to stick more with REST APIs. You need to understand how to consume data, handle errors, and manage loading states. Testing. End-to-end test with Cypress or Playwright. It shows that you can ship reliable code. If you're a front-end developer and you took your time to learn how to code, I believe you can learn Cypress, the basics of Cypress, in 2 weeks. That's all you need to learn as a front-end developer. Just learn the basics of Cypress. If all you are about is you want to quickly get a job. Now, there are other things you need to learn that are optional, like CI/CD pipelines, A/B testing, integrations like Stripe for payments, and Firebase for real-time data. Now, here's a reality check. If you only know React and you can copy Shadcn components, you are still more like an entry-level dev. But if you know React plus cookies, caching, APIs, authentication, testing, and can build beautiful UIs with modern tools like Shadcn, you are a hireable dev. You are someone who can take a product from design to deployment. Because here's what's happening in 2025. The bar for UI quality has never been higher. Users expect apps that look like they were designed by world-class designers, and tools like Shadcn combined with Tailwind CSS and modern design systems make that available. But the bar for functionality has also never been higher. Apps need to be secure, fast, tested, and integrated with dozens of services. You need to undo authentication flows, manage complex states, catch data intelligently, and work seamlessly across devices. Front-end developers who only focus on the visual layer are getting left behind. Developers who thrive in 2025, they master both sides, both the UI design and the functionality. They don't just make things look good, they make things work. And this is the future of front-end development. Don't just learn frameworks, don't just copy components, learn the entire ecosystem, because interviews today are not asking if you can build a page, they're asking if you can build a product.